Hello and welcome to our short 5-minute class where we're going to be going over plough pose. So we're going to do a little bit of a warm up and then I will show you the correct way to do this pose. So the first thing that we're actually going to do is come to a seated forward fold. So just sit up, legs out in front. I like to keep my heels hip width apart, but that's completely up to you. But ground down through your heels because that helps to not lock out the knees. So if your heels are lifted, your knees are probably locked out. So ground down through the heels, take a big inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Now as you fold forward from the hips first and then go up the spine. So we're trying to get our nose to our toes rather than our head to our knees. Now, if you find even this position quite difficult, you can always sit up on a block or a rolled up blanket because that's going to help to just tilt the pelvis forward slightly. So wherever you get to, it's fine. Either hold on to your toes, your legs, the floor, and just hold here for a moment. Just going until you feel a slight stretch of the hamstrings and then just holding it there. And try to relax into this. So long inhales, long exhales. Enzo, do you really have to do that on my mat right now? Apparently so. Okay, and then coming back up. Let's shuffle down and roll down onto our backs. So rolling down. If you have a ponytail, just move it out the way. And grab your block. If you don't have a block, by the way, you can use cushions or rolled up blankets or books. We're just going to try to elevate the hips slightly. So placing underneath your low spine, the bottom of your spine, and then lift your legs up. Doesn't really matter if your toes are pointed or flexed here. Just lift them up and just notice how this feels. Now, if just even in this position, you're already starting to feel some pressure in the head or pressure in the neck, then you may need to do a few more neck warm-ups before carrying on with this practice. Or you may just want to stay here and then eventually keep practicing this and you will be able to move on to the next ones. But if you do have any neck issues, then please do not go any further than this for now. Nice long inhales and exhales. And then bend in the knees, bring them back down to the ground. Lift your hips up, remove the prop. Okay, bringing your feet in quite close. Let's inhale, lift the hips, tuck the shoulder blades under. Now this is bridge pose, so please when you're in bridge pose, do not turn your head. Keep looking up at the ceiling. This is very important for the rest of the practice. If you need to see what I'm doing, lower your hips and come back down to a neutral position. In plough pose, we never want to turn our necks. So lift your hips up as high as you can. Just again, notice how that feels on your neck. Notice the strength that that's now bringing in your legs. And lower your hips back down to the ground. Okay, so let's bring the knees in and then grab hold of the outer edges of the feet. So we're coming into our happy baby pose. So if this feels quite a lot, stay here. If you can, try to open up the legs and bring the knees closer towards the armpits and the feet further apart. So the further apart they are, the more of a stretch you're going to be feeling in your hips, in your legs. And try to keep your low back on the ground for now. Now a lot of people will not teach shoulder stand or plough pose on the internet, and there's a very good reason for this. If you crick your neck in the wrong way, you can cause severe damage. So please listen carefully to my instructions, and if you feel any pain, any tingling, anything that doesn't feel right, come straight out. I want to put this video out there because I want people to know the correct way rather than hurting themselves. So bringing your feet back together. feet flat on the ground. Okay, so we're going to set up for our plough pose now. Now there's two different ways that we can do this. First, I'm going to show you the safer way. So you might want to shuffle down if you're near a wall, because obviously your feet are going to come up over your head. Now, if you're unsure whether you'll be able to touch the ground, place a chair behind you, because that's going to elevate your feet and it's going to give you less of a way to go. So my favourite way of coming into plough pose is to come back into that happy baby setup. So grab the outside of your feet, but keep your feet together. Now from here, this takes a little bit of flexibility. So if you need flexibility in your forward fold, then check out my Get Closer to Your Toes challenge, because that is going to help majorly. But from here, you're going to keep your feet together and start to straighten your legs. So grab hold of your feet, don't let go of your feet, start to straighten your legs. Now as you do this, you'll notice that your bum will start coming up off the ground, and as you start tensing your legs, it's going to come up and over naturally. Okay, so from here you can keep your hands where they are. You're pretty much in plough pose. You can see if your toes can touch the ground. If they don't, they don't. It's fine for them to hover up above you. But again, just notice how this feels in your neck, in your shoulders, and in your hamstrings. You'll probably be feeling this a lot in your hamstrings. And then bending the knees to come back out slowly, very slowly, roll down onto your spine. So if you do feel like you might have neck or head issues, please stick to this one, and eventually you will get closer and closer to the ground. So the more traditional way of teaching a plough pose is to come into a shoulder stand first. So when you're in shoulder stand, you don't want to be turning your head. So if you need to pause the video and watch what I'm doing, then please do so. But we're going to rock your bum up, place your hands underneath your low back. Bring your elbows quite close together, about shoulder width, and then you're going to try to lengthen through your spine here. Now notice here, like I haven't even kicked my legs up yet. I'm making sure that my spine is getting as straight as I can before I even attempt this. So then your legs can go up. So this is your shoulder stand. Please be really careful here. Any pressure on your neck, your head comes straight down. Bend your knees to come down and slowly roll back onto your back. From here, take one foot and lengthen it behind. Maybe you tap the floor, maybe you tap a chair, maybe you tap a block. Now this can send pressure into the head, so again, please be careful. Any pressure, come out of it. Maybe you're not quite flexible enough yet. And then when one foot's down, you can then take the other foot down. You can leave your hands behind, you can lengthen them out. Completely up to you. When you come out of this, bend the knees slowly, use your hands to come back down and rest on the mat. You can keep the knees bent, just rest for a moment. Give your neck, your head, your back a little bit of a break before you do anything else. I like to then move my head side to side very gently, because as I said, it can cause some pressure on the neck. So just rock your neck very gently. Maybe you roll over onto your side, maybe you grab behind your thighs and rock up to seated. So again, keeping this very short today. If you do need a bit more of a cool down, then please stay in Shavasana for a little while after this, and just please pay attention to your body. Make sure you're listening to it. Anything doesn't feel right, don't do it. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. As always, just make sure that you listen to your body, keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.